Everybody wants something, right? And it may be especially true that everybody wants something from their government. For individuals, that can be anything from benefits to a job to action on an environmental problem or some nettlesome transportation bottleneck. And it's the same for companies, from small independent businesses to giant multinational corporations. Everyone we've ever encountered wants something from the government, from contracts to tax breaks to regulations that are easier to live with. Often what companies want from their government is to avoid something, to avert a regulation that would be so economically burdensome that it would put you out of business, to avoid a new tax or an interpretation of tax rules that would eviscerate your profitability, to avoid losing a court battle that could damage your firm financially or ruin its reputation and the value of its brands. Okay, so everybody, including companies, wants something from their government. But why should anyone else care? And unless someone else cares, how can a firm ever hope to get what it wants as a lone petitioner before a gigantic, often unresponsive government bureaucracy? Obviously, it helps to have allies to get what you want from your government. So in general, the more different parties that are clamoring for the same cause or outcome, the better. But again, why should others care? They'll care only if there's a dimension of public interest, an interest that's shared with potential allies, but that's hidden inside, so to speak, your private interest. For instance, a giant financial institution facing a class action suit by another group of giant corporations for whom it provides financial services has a definite particular interest in making that suit go away, or at least in having it decided against the plaintiffs. But if the suit can be portrayed as an unwarranted expansion of the draconian class action process to empower not isolated and powerless consumers challenging a group of well-financed corporations, but rather to empower huge companies in one sector of the economy to use the courts to loot a defendant in another sector, well, that's an issue of public interest. Much more is then at stake, and the interests of many more actors, including the attentive public, can be engaged on the defending company's behalf. Often our first assignment is to help our clients find the kernel of public interest inside their private pleading. When we do, we can then turn a very particular, even parochial interest into an issue in which many others have a stake, and on which a range of experts' opinions and advocacy can be brought to bear, focusing on the issues of principle and public policy, often without having to refer to our client's particular interest.